on 936 ABC Hobart and ABC Northern Tasmania, the 2012 TSL Grand Final. Burnie Dockers playing Launceston. Damien McIver.
So here we go. Ruckman are ready, the umpire about to lay it down. The same teams we saw last year. Will it be a different result? It's Laycock up, getting hand on the ball. Shackleton was worked underneath it. Bodies crashing in hard. Stevens laying the tackle in there for the Blues. Must be about a dozen players around this football. It spills to Shackleton, who just left it behind. Laycock found it at ground level. His hand pass frees up Hardy inside 50 for the Dockers. It's a kick to a dangerous spot. Flying in front and taking the mark is the comeback kid in Rowan Baldock. Was written off for all money earlier in the season. He's had illness problems, but he flew high in the forward pocket and has taken the mark. And is a chance to go back, just like he did last year, it must be said, and kick the opening goal of the grand final. We've played just 40 seconds so far, so a perfect start for Burnie. He's playing on the Butcher and Gary Shipton. And Bulldogs kick. And just pushed across the face. So one behind for Burnie, but a bright start.
It's one of the gambles, isn't it, for Burnie that have played Baldock. 50 late June, I think he last played a full game. Started as sub, I think, last week. Had a really severe bowel instruction. He had to lose some of his bowel to get himself back to health, let alone fitness to play football.
O'Keefe's clearing kick. Was looking for Majak Meyer. Couldn't take it cleanly. Ball at ground level. Just in front of the Railway Workers wing here at York Park. We've had 90 seconds of play and just one scoring shot so far, and it was a behind to Rowan Baldock. There's the centre bounce. The bounce rather in front of the Railway wing. O'Donoghue has it, tries to swing around onto his right foot. Shackleton breaks away. In space here is Shackleton. Beats the tackle onto the right foot, but not taken in the forward pocket by the Burnie Dockers. And the Launceston Blues, Andy Bennett and Matthew Armstrong, under some pressure early in the grand final.
You only have to look at the first couple of minutes of the game. They've won about 5 or 6 really hard inside contested balls, Burnie. They're first of the ball at the moment.
Yeah, Shackleton in particular. Yeah. He's already had an influence.
So the Blues work it out of defence through Harris. His kick was at the feet of Finch, who lost it. Walters there for the Dockers working hard, but the Blues are a chance here as it spills free. Pressure from Burnie was good to hold it up. Finch again, hand pass not good. Barrett crashed through, broke one tackle, couldn't break the second. Lucky not to give away the free. In fact, he has. So a free kick to the Blues at centre half forward. And the kick from McCabe inside 50. He's kicked it straight to Nick McKenna, who, well, I haven't seen Nick McKenna play footy in a while. He had dreadlocks all last season. He's now running a mohawk, leading some fairly interesting hairstyles for the Burnie team this afternoon. As the Dockers work it down the Railway wing, it's slapped out of play. Jordan Harris batting it away from Braden Hayes. Another terrific year to Jordan Harris. Second straight year that he's been selected in the TSL Team of the Year, and he's become a really important running defender for the Blues. At the restart, they're going forward again, the Dockers. It's Hardy. He's kicked to a dangerous spot. Shackleton lurking. Caught behind, couldn't take the mark. Stevens' bodywork was good, and then Shackleton just dumped him. The umpire, I thought, perhaps going to pay a free kick there. Happy to wave it on. So the Dockers again going forward. Hislop's kick to a dangerous spot. Loose ball, 20 from goal. Oh, Shipton fumble. Bulldog swoops the hand pass inside. Myercheck spins, kicks, goals.
Man, you just wouldn't see a fumble like that from Garrick Shipton.
They fumbled through the corridor as well on 3 or 4 occasions. Yeah. Finch fumbled going through the corridor. Scotty Stevens fumbled here. Now they've fumbled down there. You're going to fumble the ball in finals. You're going to open up the opposition's going to kick goals.
And we would have said where they might have an advantage is a little bit more experience, a bit more composure come grand final time. Well, their side's built around that.
They're running hard at the moment, Burnie. They're certainly out running hard.
The sun breaks through, some cloud cover here at York Park. O'Donoghue taps it away, finds Ellis, swings around, drives it through into the centre of the ground, but intercepted there by Hardy for the Dockers. Switches play to the other side of the ground, the Invermay side. There is Monday for the Dockers, gets it back to Walters. Walters drives it towards the Railway Workers wing, but there for the Launceston team is Josh Woolley, very good player for them through the year, and the Blues work it down the outer side wing.
Yeah, some composure there from Woolley. Opens it up for Meyer, who's caught, had to get rid of it in a hurry. Hand pass just hugging the boundary line on the far side, and it's seen out of play by Lee. So that pressure from the Dockers. The Blues have taken it forward once, and they kicked it straight onto the chest of Nick McKenna. So it's all Burnie at the moment. We've played almost 5 minutes in the opening term. It's O'Donoghue up in front, got it to Stevens, who with a quick kick around the body. Finch flew from behind and took the mark. There's the Finch train David Lithgow was talking about. He wheels around inside the 50. Derbyshire on the move. Takes it on the bounce. Has a step. Eyes the goals across the body. Adam Derbyshire, but he left it too narrow. So opening score for the Blues, and that was better. They've got one behind. Burnie 1 goal 2-8. We've played 5 and a bit minutes in the opening term.
That was good from Finch. I am a little bit dubious around Finch coming back with just half a dozen games to play, because his injury at one stage was the reason he didn't play. That's it. Footy's all over for me, and now he's back playing. I think it's a terrific story, but there is an element of risk. But gee, he looked free of injury when he left for that. That was outstanding.
Now Breakey brings it away for the Dockers. Laycock has it in the distinctive long sleeves, socks around the ankles, just outside his defensive 50. A long torpedo punt down the outer side. Falls there for it's Hayes for the Dockers, and they work it forward. Mychek takes it on the half volley. A good strong defence there for the Launceston Blues. Keeps him in check for the moment, but Mychek's got the ball. And he plays on, lobs it inside 50. And a strong mark there taken
50.
by Josh Woolley for the Blues, but there's a bit of an altercation in the goal square.
So it was late. It was dead set late. It's an opportunity, I suppose, in the grand final. You've got to wear him. Is that Josh Woolley who's got the free?
Yep.
He will not deviate. I admire the way this guy plays.
And the 50 guys. It was just a very, very late. There's certainly a bit of an indiscretion there. Marjack Myers got involved. Look, just the interchanges down here, guys. Joe Krushka is the sub for Launceston. And for Burnie, it is, we think it's Caleb Hislop. We cannot confirm that, but we think it's Hislop. Matty Armstrong, I think you've got a better eye than me to catch
I think
that.
Hislop started on the wing.
Yeah.
40. He started on the ground. I'm not certain he's 44, so I'm not certain who's the...
James Plant is the sub for
Correct,
Burnie.
it is James Plant. There he is there. Yes, Damien.
Good work, Flash. And Brian Finch has started well, so money well spent there, mate.
And if there's a match-up in the forward line or in the defensive half that Burnie has to get right, it's Robbie Fox, I think. It's not quite the right match-up for.
Yeah, but we're finally underway. Woolley's hand pass was left behind by Green. They've got numbers here, though, the Blues. And O'Keefe's kick across half-back is a good one. Finds Lonigan with his first meaningful touch of the afternoon. He just chips it inboard to Shepherd, still working back of centre. The Blues now the kick inboard. This is better. Stevens, the run of O'Keefe approaching half-forward. Laycock got a hand on it. Just slowed down that forward thrust. It's with Finch. His hand pass on the up to a teammate under pressure. O'Donoghue follows up. Back to Stevens. They're back in the middle now. And the Blues will have to reload. Stevens chip out wide to Lonigan. They've got Meyer wide on the flank. Lonigan wanted to go inboard. It's a very congested forward half.
17 players for Burnie back in the back half.
So he goes just laterally to Stevens. Now O'Keefe, a chance to pump it long. He hesitates. McKenna is back for Burnie, the loose man behind play. So they don't want to pull the trigger. They're just working it around the perimeter. Harris's kick inboard is a good one. And
it's good composure, wasn't it?
Good football.
Yeah, good footy. They just didn't lose their head. The temptation was to blast.
And Bristow's kick wanted Derbyshire. Only went about 8 metres and Derbyshire dropped the mark. So all that hard work has come undone. Again, some fumbles. But Shackleton got it on the up to Banham, who gave it back to Shackleton. And kick out wide towards a teammate or the boundary. I don't think he'll mind which is the result. His teammate did well, actually. Sam Rice kept it in. So now the Dockers can attack down the outer side as Monday's kick's a dangerous one. Barrett went to ground. Good courage shown by both players. It spills Burnie's way. The kick towards half forward is chopped out by Harris. And now the Blues can attack.
So the Blues coming down the broadcast wing. Driving past, looking for Mychek Meyer. Takes it third time. Swings around. Lopes onto the right boot and drives it inside 50. But no one home there. In fact, they might have gone out of bounds on the full.
Oh, he's still playing.
They're playing on. I thought that was out of bounds myself. I had a pretty good view of it. And now it is with the Dockers, with Banham around his shoulder, driving it down the broadcast wing, but straight into the stomach of Scott Stevens, who plays on quickly. Intercepted, though, for the by the Dockers. And the ball settles. Centre wing, broadcast side. We've had 9.5 minutes of the grand final on ABC local radio. Burnie 1-2-8, lead Launceston 1 behind. Matthew Armstrong.
Yeah, I think Burnie, they're actually playing very like Sydney-like, actually. They're actually getting a lot of numbers behind the ball, win possession, the way they run. They're really streaming hard forward. Can they play and sustain that type of footy for 4 quarters? We'll find out later on.
Well, they're going forward again through Dylan Smith, but a terrific mark taken by Gene Savage at half-back. He had 3 to beat, kept his eye on the ball as he always does. And then he switches the play to Harris, who goes further out onto the railway side, and O'Keefe, who's been prominent, left foot inside the 50. Space here for Whiting if he can gather. He keeps it in play, it sits nicely. He's a sharpshooter, Whiting, takes his man on, has to hand pass in a hurry. Terrific defence from Banham. The pressure there just to contain Whiting, and he might have won a free kick here in the end. He has. So
I don't reckon there's many times now in a game, because it's pretty that you want to deliver a real rocket as a coach. But I'd be giving Adam Derbyshire a huge rocket. He's not here so far. He's standing around watching then. The ball went to the boundary over here. He thought it was going to go out, and then he wasn't watching when he got pinned up by a pass. I think that deserves a rocket, doesn't it, Matty?
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
He's
only working into the space. He's not working back forward. He needs to work more angles in the game. He's got to go back towards goals as well.
So play continuing here, and the Dockers, well, the pressure from the Blues was good enough to earn a free kick. They're working inside their forward 50. Boyce, the snap on goal, won't have the carry. Whiting working hard in the pocket. Banham with him and sees it out of play. So better period just here for the Blues the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they're settled a bit better now, aren't they? They're getting their switch. They're carrying the ball sideways and bringing it down the outer side of the ground. They're moving the ball better.
Playing their style of footy. They're best when they share the ball, run it around, chip it around.
Here's a chance for the Blues. It might have been a high tackle there. There was a possible theatrical dive there for the Blues. I'm not sure about that, but they earned a free kick. They have. It's Boyce. And this is an opportunity for the Launceston Blues to register their first major score of the afternoon. Boyce with the free kick, 30 metres out. Not much of an angle. The breeze is perhaps, if anything, behind him. And here's a great chance for Launceston. Boyce strikes the ball, and he likes it off the boot. And there's the first major score of the afternoon for the reigning premiers. Launceston 1-1-7, Burnie 1-2-8. We've played 12 minutes in the first quarter of the TSL Grand Final.
Have another secondary bounce, or it's a third bounce now. Still haven't moved outside the centre circles. He lays it down. O'Donoghue leapt early. Laycock weighted down. Bristow gets a quick kick inside 50 again for the Blues. Finch almost. Loose ball though, spills the way of Fox, who shows some dash. Has a bounce. The hand pass at the feet of Monday, who won't panic. And his kick across the body wasn't all that well directed. It lands on the chest of O'Donoghue, who squares it up to Finch, who's about 80 from goal. He's called to play on, so has to kick in a hurry and straight into the man on the mark in Barrett. The left footer drives it long. Myercheck's got 5 metres on his opponent and takes the mark.
Quality.
They closed late. Savage the spoil. And Myercheck, that was a true contested
It's real skill,
mark.
isn't it? We talk about balance. Balance running over the ground is important, and in attacking and whatever. There's that balance in the air, the ability to keep your body and your eyes on the ball, even though you're sort of out of position. You get terrific balance in the air then. Brody Myercheck, you rate him?
Oh, very highly. Look, very unlucky not to be picked up last year in the national draft.
Yeah.
If he's probably a couple of centimetres taller, you might have finally got there. But no, very powerful young boy.
In he comes, man on the mark, about 48 from goal. He lets it fly from the paint of 50. It won't have the carry, and well, that's just strange. In the end, O'Donoghue takes an uncontested mark outside the goal square. They've played on here, the Blues, and almost got in trouble. Still not out of trouble. They've turned it over. So a mark to Burnie, 40 metres out from goal. It's Cade Monday, and he does know how to kick the goal. I didn't see, was it Woolley the kick that came out? It was a dinky little 15-metre pass to a 2-on-1. It just... They've made some strange errors this afternoon.
Very strange error, very poor. But what Burnie are doing, call the
just
kick.
Wait for the kick. As Monday's shot on goal, it looks to be hung out to the right side. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full, so a let off there for the Blues.
What they are doing is working really hard as a unit to get up and down the field. Again, when that kick, I'm not certain it was Josh Woolley, came, it was a chip inside his defensive 50. He sort of had to, because the whole side, there were 36 players inside the defensive half for his side. Burnie are working really hard up and down the ground.
The ball's on the far side of the field, right in front of the railway workers stand. We've had a quarter of an hour's play, and it's Burnie by 1 point, 1-2-8. Launceston 1-1-7, the TSL Grand Final for 2012 from York Park, Launceston. Heavy cloud cover, a suggestion of rain perhaps, as Burnie go inside 50 again. Leaping high there for the Dockers was Templeton, but the mark wasn't taken, and the Blues now trying to work it out of their defensive 50 with the Dockers into attack again. The ball falling there for Templeton, but it's going to roll over the boundary line right now with the Dockers. Damien McIver looking pretty dangerous at this stage.
Yeah, they're getting their hands on the footy inside the forward 50, Pete, and Rudy Barrett has had plenty of the football. The last inside 50 found Myercheck, and then just a snap around the corner. So Laycock working hard. Myercheck over the back. The shot on goal is pretty good. Almost got his second, just didn't quite bend it back far enough. So Burnie 1 goal 3-9, lead Launceston 1 goal 1-7. We've played 16 minutes in the opening term in the TSL Grand Final. It's a rematch of last year. It's the Dockers going for their first ever statewide flag. The Blues looking to go back to back. And the kick in from Woolley was a good one. Found his teammate over in the pocket who just chipped it further up the line to Stevens. They're favouring that railway wing at the moment. It's pretty stagnant stuff from the Blues. The kick up the line, Groenewegen the target. McKenna thumped it away from him. Lee there for the Blues. Sees it out of play in front of McCrossan. Interesting story, Trent McCrossan, isn't he? He's played at a few clubs and had terrible luck when it comes to grand finals, Andy.
So he played, I read this morning he played 4 in the last 5 years or 6 years and lost the lot of them, isn't it? Or
yeah, it might
more
be
than that, even more over the years.
Yep. He played in a losing one for Devonport a few years ago, or plenty for Devonport actually back in the day. Anyways, play continues here. It's the Dockers going forward, but seeing it out of play was O'Keefe. Just
ground level, just quickly, we talked about the importance of Nathan O'Donoghue getting off for his suspension during the week. He's really nullifying Laycock early and just appears to be jumping over the top of the big guys. So that's an intriguing duel, no doubt, going forward.
Still, thanks David, still on the far side of the ground, the railway wing, and the Dockers moving forward again. The Launceston team having a fair bit of trouble just moving the ball efficiently out of their danger area, if you like, down towards their attacking 50. The ball still in front of the main replay scoreboard, the railway workers wing, and it's the Burnie Dockers by 2 points, 139 to 117. Burnie going into the forward pocket again, and once again not overly accurate, another behind, and that gives them the double figures, 1-4-10 to 1-1-7.
Bo Green it is with the kick-in duties for the Blues. He's called to play on, and then off a step he just thumps it long outside the defensive 50. You're going back with a flight, almost taking the mark was Kolodashny. They get it going forward here, the Blues. It spills to Shepherd, who was met by Walters as he kicked. Still got it to half forward where it spills over the back. Finch a chance to get involved. Wanted a Shepherd from McCabe, who probably needed to go and get it. In fact, it was Whiting. Still working just inside the 50, Derbyshire. Finch busy again. The hand pass though missed his man, and Monday intervened, in the Dockers with Bannum working out the back can attack down the far side. And have they got some space? Bannum's kick's a beauty. Finds Laycock at centre wing. His chipping board to centre half forward. Oh, just leaving it behind there was his teammate going inside. Another tumbled, scrappy kick inside the 50. The Dockers making it hard for themselves, and the tackle there from Green was terrific. Robbed his man of the football and then laid it off, and now the Blues with some run from Woolley. Approaches the centre. They've got numbers forward of the footy here. Stevens just needs to get rid of it. In fact, it's McCabe who goes back and then just chips it over the top to Lee. I reckon they could have gone a bit quicker there, the Blues. Still, though, at centre half forward with Lee. He's got options presenting all short. Whiting finds him 40 metres from goal directly in front. So in the end, he kept his head. There was 3 or 4 leads, 3 or 4 options to go to, and he chose Sonny Whiting, who's kicked 32 goals this year. He really is a damaging player inside the forward 50. Last year he played second string to Brian Finch. This year it's Adam Derbyshire who he's worked with. And lining up, it's an important kick, this one, against the run of play. Sonny Whiting. And for the first time of the afternoon, the Blues have the lead. 2 goals, 1-13. Lead Burnie, 1 goal, 4-10. We played almost 20 minutes in the opening term.
They look a little bit more structured when they go forward, Launceston, with the ball. It's interesting. I know at AFL level, 67% of scoring shots are caused by turnovers. Yeah. And most of the shots on goal today have all been turnovers, especially I think Launceston have turned the ball over worse by foot at the moment. Yeah. If they fix that up, I think they win enough balls through the corridor. They should actually probably score a couple more times.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're capable of being more constructive, more methodical going forward. It looks to me like Myercheck is a target down there, but he's a bit on his own at the moment. They're not. The ball's not coming in well enough for him.
20-minute mark, and it's Launceston by 3 points in the grand final. They go into attack again. Mark taken on the broadcast wing there by McCabe. Left-footed, drives inside 50. Looking for a lead. That's a good defensive work there by Templeton for the Dockers. But the Blues still with the football, and an opportunity there for them for them as Bristow off the right foot drags it left, free behind. Promising stuff here by the Blues, getting towards the latter stages of the first quarter. 2-2-14 to 1-4-10. Peter Newlands, Damien McIver, Andy Bennett, Matthew Armstrong and David Lithgow with you here at the grand final for 2012. Now the Dockers trying to work it down the outer side wing, the railway wing. There's Jason Laycock, what a presence he is. Moving it towards the centre of the ground, trying to find Barrett. Good mark taken by him. Barrett now with McKenna with plenty of space on this broadcast side.
He's slow to
Barrett
get on with that.
didn't pick it up. He's taken an age here. He drives it forward off the left foot. And there's a marking contest. There's Shipton flying high with Baldock. Mychek's there for the Dockers. Finds a teammate in that, of course, is not. And his shot at goal has gone through. So lovely play there by Brodie. Mychek offloading to Not, the Ulverston boy, who at a low angle drove it through the goals. And the Dockers have regained the lead at the 22-minute mark of the opening term. 2-4-16 to Burnie. Launceston 2-2-14.
It wasn't interesting. It was the first time they went through the corridor. Laycock took the wrist off from half back, put it through the Rudy Barrett into the corridor. Great kick on a 45-metre angle, on an angle. Took his time, fair enough, but went down the middle, got it to the hot spot, spillage, goal.
Yeah, they had the numbers there. Shipton's not having a good day. I think Shipton's been in really good form for Launceston of late. He maybe gave away a free kick. He fumbled before for their first goal, and then he didn't keep his feet. He's better than that.
I'll tell you who is having a good day, that's Brodie Mychek.
Yeah.
So it was Laycock with the tap, but shark by Beau Green, who just thumps it forward. Finch in front, takes a strong mark at half forward for the Blues. He's been prominent. Wanted to go quickly, just waiting for options. One of them, Stevens, who's all on his own, just on the paint of 50. So perhaps just beyond his range. He'll look for something short. Movement from Derbyshire, he ignores that. In fact, he's going to have a shot here, Scott Stevens. So from 55, he sits it up on the breeze and just misses to the far side. It was a good effort. Might have undersold him
It's
there. I
never
didn't
been
realise
his.
he had the lead.
I was with you. I'd never rate him as a long kick. I think he's a good shot for goal, close to goal, but I've never seen him as a player who's going to kick goals from 50 plus.
So just 1 point the margin here, Burnie's way. We played almost 23 minutes in the opening term. It's Burnie 2-4-16, leading Launceston 2-3-15. The Dockers working it in their defensive zone by hand pass. They get it out now through Hayes, who kicks up the line, and it's a good one. Finds Davies, who lays it off straight away. Going forward here, it's a scrappy kick again. Mychek trying to get involved. Just worked his man off it. Doing really well there. Spinning through there was Templeton. About the kick inboard. Well chopped out by O'Keefe.
He's been good, O'Keefe.
Now it's with the Blues as they work it down the broadcast wing. There's Mychek Meyer with the ball at ground level. The Blues seem to be stressing a bit as they try to work it into attack. There's Luke Shackleton with the ball now for Burnie. He gets his ball, boot to it. He finds a teammate there in Banham, and now the Dockers go down the centre. There's Templeton. He started well as well. Templeton, one bounce on the rim of 50, drives it towards the goal square, and a good strong mark taken in the goal square for Burnie. That's Rowan Baldock. A good story he is too. Now he has got an excellent chance here to score. He's got a slight angle, only about 20 metres out from goal, and this would give the Dockers the largest break of the game so far. Rowan Baldock doesn't muck around. 15 metres out, drives it through, and that's a very handy one for the Dockers. It's now 3-4-22 for them, and Launceston is 2-3-15. We've gone 25 minutes in the opening quarter. The 2012 TSL Grand Final on ABC local radio across Tasmania. Peter Newlands, Damien McIver, Andy Bennett and Matthew Armstrong.
That's against the run of play, those last two goals. You know, I would have said Launceston, I thought, had just sort of wrestled control of this game. They weren't scoring heavily, but they're controlling the ball. But those two goals, in the last 2 minutes, really swung it back again the other way. And again, Matty, I imagine you're going to talk about it. They got it back in the middle. Got it back down the middle, corridor. Very direct.
And that's it, direct and deep. All their shots are coming from 10, 15 metres out. But it's, Launceston going for trying to be too cute, get the perfect pass all the time.
So from the middle, it's Shackleton getting it out wide to Hislop. His kick, well, favoured his Blues opponent there, and Woolley obliged, jumped and took the mark at full stretch. And going forward now, it's on the chest of Shepherd. Flicks it out wide to Sinclair, whose kick was smothered, and it's out of play about 70 metres around from the Blues goal on the railway side. So Burnie it was who dominated play for the opening 10 or 15 minutes, and then Launceston enjoyed a period But they were on top, and now it's the Dockers late in the opening term who lead by 7 points. At the restart, working hard underneath there is Lee, going nowhere. Barrett's got him, and the umpire will come in and bounce it up again. About 80 metres from Launceston's goal. Crowd of about 4,000 people here at York Park. It's the All-Northern Grand Final, the fourth we've seen in the new State League. We've had Clarence win a couple of premierships. Launceston broke through last year, and Burnie, who are yet to win a flag at statewide level in any competition. Going back to the old state leagues as play continues here. It's a free kick being pulled out to O'Donoghue. So a chance here for a late goal for the Blues. His kick inside the 50. McKenna, well placed, was worked underneath it for the Dockers. Numbers at ground level though. Banham, who's had plenty of it, sweeping it out wide to Shackleton. Had to kick in a hurry, but fortuitously lands on the chest of a teammate, and they can run it out now through Barrett, who lays it off to Fox, I think it was, coming past her. It's with Fox now, so his kick inside the 50. Baldock on the move, or in front. Terrific mark, just drifting across Templeton, I think it was, the youngster.
It's been good, hasn't he?
He has.
Yeah. So is the Templeton Jack at the other end, who's well on top of Derbyshire at the moment. Derbyshire doesn't look... You know, he was a bit injured last week. He had a big corky, hasn't he? Missed the game the week before.
Yeah,
I don't know whether he's moving that freely at the moment.
He was a little bit proppy last week. Now, the umpires actually called a free kick to Baldock, even though Templeton did come across and take the mark. Baldock was interfered with as he attempted to get involved. So the shot from 48 metres is on its way. It's that distinctive kicking style of Rowan Baldock, and he misses to the near side. He's been prominent early, but perhaps a little bit inaccurate as Burnie 3 goals, 5-23, lead Launceston 2-3-15. We've played 27 and a half minutes in the opening term.
So now it's the Blues down by 8 points. Short pass finds Shepherd for them. And they've had to work pretty hard to get it out of their defensive 50 in this first quarter of the game so far. Now Shepherd goes long down the broadcast wing, looking for a teammate there in Koladashny. Takes a good mark overhead. About a free kick awarded there, and Shackleton's going to play on here with 28 minutes gone in the first quarter. Shackleton into the 50 looking for Myercheck. And hasn't he been good so far? Myercheck from outside 50 goes.
Can't play on with that.
He's the siren, as you would have heard, has gone, and Myercheck had a somewhat fateful attempted goal from about 56 metres. That's the end of the first quarter. A very interesting one it was. And
by Ben Leonard to lay it down. It's Laycock and O'Donoghue to lock horns again in the ruck. And it's Laycock who gets it going forward decisively, but it spills to Ellis. Now a free kick's been pulled out, so a free kick will go the Dockers' way. It's Monday.
How about that tap?
It was straight onto his chest, wasn't it?
Short distance from hand, straight down. No opportunity for Launceston to get a hand in there at all. Fantastic tap.
So Monday is confronted by a congested forward line. Laycock has gone forward and he finds him. Laycock takes the mark.
He sat off him. He sat off him. He didn't want to be physical, and that's what happens in finals. You've got to be physical in finals, and he chose not to be.
He's going to get hurt. You can't just give him a chance, can you, and try and knock away. His hand's too good. He's too big.
So on the slightest of angles from 45 metres, Jason Laycock, and this is a big kick.
Yep, decisive.
For the contest between the two teams, for the contest between O'Donoghue and Laycock. There's history between these players. He leans back from 48 metres and misses to the far side. It looked good for 98% of the journey.
Come back and hurt you in finals, missing goals.
well, that breeze is picked up for sure, and Laycock had that breeze behind him as O'Keefe brings it out of defence for the Launceston Blues.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Pete. The breeze has picked up a lot. It looks to be certainly favouring the Burnie end, and it's I reckon it's a 2-goal breeze, so interested to see how that plays out.
Shipton's kick intercepted by Nick McKenna with the mohawk hairstyle, and play in the middle of the ground with Burnie looking to press towards their attacking 50 again, but it's right in the centre of the square with Brian Finch onto it, and the Blues desperately trying to get some score on the board early in the second quarter as they go to inside 50 once more. Ball on the ground, but good defence there for the Burnie Dockers. Sees the play come down the broadcast wing. There's Monday playing it inboard.
Derbyshire's got to be better there, doesn't he? He just didn't give a contest.
Dockers play on, and flying high is Laycock up there with Shipton.
Yeah.
And there's a free kick for the Dockers.
What do you think,
and
mate?
Shipton's not having his best day so far.
That's a poor decision.
Yeah. I reckon he went early and had no chance of getting the ball. You know, it's a line ball. It's one of the great parts of our game, being able to jump early, hold your opponent under the ball and take the mark. But
here's
if
Laycock
you don't touch the ball,
on just outside 50, a 25-degree angle, but he has got the wind behind him. Drives well. That's a nice contact with the football. That's a wonderful goal from Jason Laycock. He was outside 50. I tell you what, you wouldn't see a better strike in an AFL game. That was a wonderful kick of the football, and the Dockers are away here. 4-6-30 to the Blues 2-3-15. And guys,
in the match, and his palm work again onto the chest of Monday. The pressure was good enough from the Blues to hold him up, and it's O'Donoghue with the kick off the ground. Leading the race back though was Walters. Hand pass back to Banham, who gives it back to Walters. They think their way through it. He's working back in defensive 50, sweeps the hand pass to McKenna, who just gets past Finch. Now he has some time and drives it up the wing. 2-on-1. Shackleton couldn't bring it down. It spills to Stevens at the back. This way and that. His hand pass to Ellis, who kicks in a hurry to Meyer down the line. Around his bootlaces, he overruns it and almost out of play. In fact, the Dockers keep it in through Shackleton, who's tackled well. Spills to Meyer, who's still working hard. The hand pass inboard. Now it's with Woolley. He's a good finisher. The kick on the left to the top of the square, and the mark's been taken in the pocket by Whiting. Good persistence from the Blues. They just refused to let Burnie off the hook. They won the ball back, and Woolley's kick in the end was a good one. It found Whiting in the pocket. Now, this is no certainty. He's a good shot for goal, Sonny Whiting, but the angle is tight. And watching on the big screen, looks like he's going to attempt the banana. So an important kick, this one for the Blues. Sonny Whiting. And he's kicked it. So an answer there as Burnie started the term well, extended the lead, but Launceston hit back with their third. They're 3 goals, 3-21, trailing Burnie 4-6-30. We've played 5 minutes in the second term.
first multiple goal kicker on the ground, Sonny Whiting. One in the first, one in the second. Don't underrate the effort of Marjack Meyer there. That was terrific. I was thinking, they're just going to lose it here. He's going to fumble over the ground. He's a wonderful story, isn't he? Watching how much he's developed
fantastic
over the years.
I'll tell you what, every goal's important, but the Blues... Laycock goes high. O'Donoghue smashes it away. Finds Finch. That's a nice defensive play there by Monday. Keeps him at bay. And the Blues are hustling it forward. There's Meyer. And they're wrestling it inside. They're attacking 50. Finch has the ball, trying to swing a kick in. Meyer has it now, but can't escape the attentions there of Nick McKenna. That's good, hard tackling there from Nick McKenna. And the Danny Southern lookalike, and the Dockers bring it away down the broadcast wing. Once again, heavy
He's
contact.
having a bad day,
early
Gary.
in
He
the
didn't have to
second
do
quarter.
it. He didn't have to do that.
What's he on about?
Harris.
Harrison. Sorry,
He's having a bad enough day without you.
You're trying to get it on his back.
Hayes plays on here for the Dockers, driving it towards 50. Laycock's there, flying high. Doesn't get there, not on the ball here for the Dockers. Shackleton, hand pass to a teammate. That's Templeton. Templeton hand passes back to another teammate in Baldock, who scores. Yes, good play there by the Burnie Dockers. Templeton's been excellent. Baldock was right on the spot, and that sharp shooter that he is, he put the ball through the big sticks, and the Burnie Dockers are back to a 15-point break. 5-6-36 to 3-3-21, and we have had 6.5 minutes play in the second quarter.
Well, that's terrific bouncing. All of a sudden the game's open up. We've had, 4 goals in?
But it's Laycock winning it down. Lonergan was tackled strongly there by Barrett, I think it was. Still working in there hard is Lonergan. And the umpire will come in a secondary bounce just to the right of the centre circles. What do you think, Flash? It's not good signs for the big spearhead for the Blues.
Yeah, no doubt. He looks under duress. He got that big caught 2 weeks ago. Wasn't effective at all versus Clarence. They need more out of Derbyshire, there's no doubt. Another little thing, not only is the breeze picked up down here, guys, I reckon we've got a bit of rain on the way. I've just got a call from some people in Summerhill. It is raining up there, so that'll add another dimension to the 2012 TSL Grand Final.
All right, we'll get an umbrella down to you shortly, mate.
Of course you will.
So we've played almost 8 minutes here in the second term, and they're still testing each other, these teams. landing a few blows. Gee, Laycock almost could have got the free kick from that boundary throw in. It spills to Lonergan, who kicks in a hurry across the body to half forward. McKenna found it.
Been good.
Been really good.
Been real good, McKenna.
Kick to wing. Laycock with a couple to beat, but it doesn't matter. Bristow will try and claim this one, but it's a mark to Laycock. He had the height over Finch and he just reached over and plucked it, and his influence is starting to grow. Kick in short. Finds his teammate there, and Davies, I think it is, and his kick. In fact, it was Fox inside the 50. Blues best placed. O'Donoghue couldn't mark it. O'Keefe working hard, tackled down by a couple of Dockers, and we'll have a ball up 35 metres around from the Dockers goal.
They've got a few gone missing, Launceston, when you think around it.
Groenewegen hasn't given him anything in the forward line. I think Derbyshire's given him nothing in the forward line.
Harris hasn't touched the ball. Shipton struggling. Bristow's had a couple of moments, but even Jesse Lonergan, we really want to play well. He's had a couple of moments, but not consistent.
The Blues working it out of defence. There's Laycock and Finch. Interesting contest there. Laycock punches it away inside 50. There's Monday. Left foot, driving it towards the goal square. Chance here for the Dockers, but a good grab taken to the goal
3
square.
on 1.
I thought the Blues would spoil that for all money, but is it Luke Shackleton down there in the goal square?
That's
it is. Using all his strength and all his experience and all his talent to pull a mark down with three Blues players around him. He plays on round the shoulder and he's guided that through. That is an outstanding piece of play by Luke Shackleton, and his team is looking okay here in the grand final. We've played 9.5 minutes in the TSL Grand Final here at York Park, and it's Burnie 6-6-42. They've doubled the score of Launceston, 3-3-21. Andy
Well, I
Bennett.
was going to the big comment around that is state of mind. 3 on 1. 3 got no one from of those 3 Launceston players committed to either mark or really go at the ball. Shackleton just believed he was going to catch it. Well, it was a much simpler task for Shackleton. He's one out. I've just got to mark this. For Launceston, they've got confused. Will I go? Won't I go? Nervousness. At their best, they just fly, knock it through. It should never have been a shot at goal.
Laycock again decisive in the ruck, got it going Burnie's way. The Blues working hard at ground level. They'll force another bounce here. So just 5 metres to Burnie's side of the centre circles. It was Smith the last player up, so this battle between Laycock and O'Donoghue, at the moment you'd have to say it's going the way of Burnie. His tap sharked by Finch, who gets it going forward in a hurry. Groenewegen looks to have moved to centre half forward, paddles it out in front. The pressure though coming from Walters was good. Going back and trying to find it there for the Blues is Sinclair, tapping it out towards the railway wing. And finally coming up with it there is Shepherd. So beat a couple and then got the kick forward. Players converge about 70 from the Blues goal at ground level. It's Monday working hard, needs support out the back. He finds a teammate in Walters, who goes further back to Hislop, who needs to kick in a hurry. Oh, he's lucky there. He went to ground and got taken high. Gee, had him cold there, did Kolodashny, but just a little bit fierce on the tackle and the chip kick.
Looks to me like Jesse Lonergan has now gone to tag. He seems to be running with Cade Mundy. Effort to get him into the game.
I reckon so. I mean, at the minute, you look at Burnie defence. Is playing that well, beating their men in the most 6 positions. Let's say they're beating them very well, and it's allowing Laycock and these blokes not have to push deep, so they're getting all their ball and running forward.
So the Blues a chance here as Burnie's attempt to bring it out of defence was cut off, and Derbyshire had to kick inside the forward 50. It tumbled out of play about 10 metres around from the left-hand point post. Derbyshire coming off for a spell as we wait on the umpire to toss it back in. Good chance here for the Blues to get one back. Groenewegen with the tap, but it's all Burnie at ground level. And the kick across the body. Fox, over the back, Finch.
He's been their best player.
He by a streak.
David Lithgow called it early, didn't he? Brian Finch, so just outside 50, beyond his range. A chip kick. They could have raffled it there in the end. Kolodashny came across in front of Bristow and took the mark. And he'll go back from about 48 metres and have a shot. They've been going goal for goal in this term. And it's Launceston's turn to strike. They trailed by 21 points. We've played over 12 minutes in the second term. And Cade Kolodashny from 50, the left footer, looks to have hung it out to the right. They'll fly in the square. Laycock brings it down and then plays on. Must have thought he marked it, so tumbles it outside. Meyer, the tackler. It spills now to O'Donoghue. They're a chance here, the Blues, if they think their way through it. Meyer got the hand pass and then tackled. Terrific tackle from Barrett. Wrapped his arms up and won it back for the Dockers.
They don't look confident to me, Launceston. At their best, they just swallow that.
Give
3
credit
on
to
1.
Burnie's backline. I think
Yep.
Burnie's backline's
Yep.
been fantastic. Really has.
Here's Rudy Barrett in front of the Railway Workers wing, playing it down the outer side. Long kick with the breeze. Good mark taken there by Shackleton. He's been excellent so far in the grand final. He is having a blinder so far. Driving it inside 50 is Shackleton. Launceston defence stretched again. Myers there. Rather frantic left footer, tries to clear the ball. And falls well for the Blues, and they play it down the outer side wing. There's Gronewegan, and the Blues play on. Blues into attack here. And good defence there for the Dockers by Smith. It's with Whiting now for Launceston. They're still moving into attack. Barrett brings it away for the Dockers. Play settles around about 10 metres outside the Blues attacking 50. Broadcast wing, 13 and a half minutes gone. Burnie 6-6-42. Launceston 3-3-21 in the 2012 TSL Grand Final. Dockers again working well as a team and trying to alleviate the pressure. There's Rice. Rice finds a teammate there in Knott, the Ulverston boy. Has scored a goal so far in the game. Plenty of space here for the Dockers. Driving it forward from a long way out. Oh, it's a long-range goal. I think he might have got it through.
Looking for a highlight, Matty.
That was a wonderful goal there.
There's a good one.
It was, of course, Clay Hardy, the midfielder, the ex-Mariner, with a wonderful individual goal, but he had no defensive pressure on him. And with that breeze at his back, which is significant, he loaded up there and launched a long-range goal. And Burnie are now out by 27, 7-6-48 to 3-3-21.
But hang on, it could get very ugly.
13 shots to 6 now, significant.
Yeah, very big.
Very significant.
They're winning old. Gronewegan in the ruck, but Barrett, who's also been excellent, kicks it forward. Green coming out to meet it for the Blues. He's worked hard. Leading the chase, though, is not for the Dockers. He overruns it. So gathered there for the Blues. It's in the hands of Lonigan, who has a bounce. We need more of this. He's had 3 bounces. Approaches half forward. Little chip over the top. Finds his teammate there, his skipper in Stevens, who has to slow it up and then chip into the pocket. Wanted Whiting. Very wide. Takes it just inside the boundary line.
I'd be pretty happy if you're the Burnie side having shots from here. Well, they just don't want to threaten the top of goal or unable to threaten the danger spot at all.
So Sonny Whiting, who's kicked 2 goals this afternoon, has really been their only forward. And when they do try and attack the goals, Andy, it often comes back the other way in a hurry at the moment. But Sonny Whiting goes the drop punt, centres the ball instead. O'Donoghue in front, Stevens lurking at ground level, gathers, fires off the hand pass. Lonigan, smothered off the boot by Barrett. Again, the defensive Burnie holding firm. Tackle applied there on Savage. Lonigan wanted the free kick, nothing coming from the umpire, so we'll have a ball up. It's about 40 out from the Blues goal. They need something from this attacking thrust. They trail by 27 points as we tick over 16 minutes in the second term. And this could be a decisive move from Burnie. They're applying the blowtorch here as they work it away from the congestion again. Shackleton again, just getting to the right spot. His kick out into the path of Walters, working hard. The bounce, though, evades him. Harris did well, just batted it forward for the Blues. Koladashny has space if it sits inside the 50. A cute little kick to Stevens, and it's cut off by Hislop. So the Dockers again with a chance to rebuild across half-back.
As Luke Shackleton with the ball, what a half of football thereabouts he's had so far. 17-minute mark of the second quarter. It's the Dockers by 27 points. His kick finds the teenager Hislop.
Andy Lee's just coming to the ground here.
Hislop finds, looking for Lee, but the pass intercepted there by O'Keefe for the Blues. And right in front of us here on the broadcast wing of York Park, O'Keefe steps around Lee, steps around another player, left foot inside 50, and the ball sails into the 50, punched away over the boundary line.
Everything, sorry Peter, everything under pressure at the moment.
Yes.
For Launceston. They don't have an easy, clear moment.
They won't kick the ball long to a contest. They're refusing to do it, and in finals you just have to do it.
Everything's done under just a little bit of pressure, isn't it? They've got to get some score on the board, I reckon, between now and half-time. But the ball's just outside there, attacking 50. They're hustling again, but the Dockers are everywhere. Lots of white jumpers. It's the pure white of the Dockers versus the pure navy blue of the Launceston Blues. And play is on the broadcast wing, about 70 metres from the goal. that the Launceston team is attacking. There's the bounce. Laycock there taps it away. Gee, he's good in those situations. And the Blues just trying to hustle something, but the Dockers won't let them do it. Great driving tackle there by Rudy Barrett.
He's not far behind.
He's been good.
Shaq at best on the ground.
Really good.
Just the hard-working component
He had a
of
good
his
game in last year's grand final too.
Yeah, good play.
There's another bounce. What can the Blues come up with here? Laycock brings it away. He's winning everything, Laycock. Swinging off the ground with Shackleton. He wants to get involved at every play as well. And the big names for the Burnie Dockers are standing up. Damien McIver in the grand final so far.
Yeah, they certainly are, Peter. And the Blues at the moment just don't have any answers. As Laycock again with the tap. This one just fisted forward. Bristow intervenes. Barrett confronts him. Boyce working hard. It spills to Bristow. There's plenty of players around this football, but it goes Burnie's way as McCrossan a hand pass. Well, it was ill-directed. And Bristow a chance. The run from Green, who on centre wing, the chip up the line. He wanted Shipton, who overran it. He's had that sort of afternoon. Shackleton's hand pass back to Hislop, who just kicks in a hurry. Oh, in front, almost taking the mark with Smith. Green brought to ground, and McCrossan working hard. It's still in play here. There's Templeton working hard. He's worried out of it. Oh,
Great
terrific
chase.
tackle on Gronewegan. So working just that little bit harder at the moment in numbers for Dockers.
Very early days, but you get a feeling that they sense it a bit, Hawks. If they can just, Dockers, sorry, if they can really capture this moment, they may put their decisive gap in it.
Smith's kick forward, put the Blues under pressure, but they're good enough this time as Ellis runs it out. The chase from Monday was good, but Ellis just had enough, and then his kick was a float at a half forward. Gave his teammates no chance. Shipton in the end, the best he could do was handball it out of play on centre wing. Now, Flash, you're down there right in the thick of it, mate. What have you got for us?
Oh, look, the intensity down here, ground level by the Dockers mids has been terrific. Not only the tackling pressure has been superb, it's noticeable down at ground level as the leg speed. I reckon we talked about the younger generation we've seen at Burnie. They're really running in droves, and gosh, the pressure's good from the Dockers at the moment. I reckon they're just hanging on Launceston.
I agree with that, David. And Shackleton there in defence, once again driving it forward on the rebound. Ball falls for Templeton here for the Dockers. That's a hard tackle from behind by Boyce. Pushed in the back though, and it's a free kick for Burnie.
Frustration.
It was certainly pretty late, and a free kick here will go.
He knows he didn't
Hardy.
go. Sorry, Fred, but he knows he didn't go hard as he should have at the one before. And he was trying to make up for it.
Hardy switching play to the centre of the ground. The Dockers seemingly with more time, more options. And they go ahead, they work it into attack. There is McCrossan. The grand final bridesmaid so far. Is this his day? And the sharp pass inside 50 taken there for the Burnie Dockers. And we'll see a shot on goal from just outside the 50. But let's not forget the breeze at the back of the Dockers side. So it's Burnie by 27 points, directly in front, but she's a long way from home. And the shot there by Smith is long and a little bit wide. Oh, he's got it through. Oh, that breeze is doing all sorts of things. They're getting regularly attacking the goals from outside 50. So a great shot there by Smith. Another goal for the Burnie Dockers, and maybe the Blues can take some solace from the fact that they'll have this breeze in the all-important third quarter. Andy Bennett.
Yeah, but potentially, you're right, the breeze has kicked up, and now as an impact, I reckon it's adding another 5-10 metres, those shots on goal. Launceston had first use of it, and it wasn't there. So Burnie, if it keeps going the way, going to have 2 quarters with a stronger breeze. So just, the gods, whatever it is, are favouring Burnie at the moment.
3 straight goals and the margin is stretched to 33 points. This is almost crisis time for the Blues. We've played 22 minutes in the second term. The defending premiers are getting put to the sword here at York Park as Jason Laycock again working hard in the ruck. Overrunning it there was Davies for the Dockers. Finch, who hasn't stopped trying all afternoon, but it spills Burnie's way again. Oh, Smith, that was sharp. Dodged one. The hand pass out into the path of Templeton. Just had to gather inside the 50. Playing in front, Lee Meyer, the spoil. Barrett in a dangerous spot. At a chance here again. The Dockers Bulldog off to Davies. The left footer on goal. Is it there? He's missed to the far side.
Just working harder.
Yeah.
As simple as that. They're working harder defensively. They're working harder, running harder forward. They're just working a lot harder. The Dockers are... And Launceston, their hardest player at the moment is Finch, and he's 31 years of age.
Yeah, and with that hard work comes confidence. The harder work, the more lucky I get. All those things apply. They just begin to take more risks, play more expansive footy.
Code Monday with the ball for the Dockers. He drives it inside 50, looking for Lee, punched away by the Blues defence. But gee, they're scrambling here, Launceston, and the Dockers are right on top. just outside there attacking 50 again.
Another
with that
sign,
breeze at their back.
another sign of desperation down here, Peter. We've had to see Gene Savage has been moved to the ruck. The dominance of Laycock this quarter has been obvious, and they're just really struggling, getting nothing out of Groenewegen. There's not many options to take on the big former Essendon star.
There's the bounce, and Laycock's there again. He is dominating this game. Gets it away to a teammate there in Davies, who drives a goal. And that was just hooked slightly to the left. So it's 8-7-55, Burnie. Launceston 3-3-21. 23 and a half minutes played in the second quarter. Very dangerous situation here for Launceston, for whom the half-time break can't come soon enough. There's O'Keefe now working out of defence for the Blues, driving it down the centre of the ground. Stevens is there, but once again intercepted here by the Dockers, and they're into attack again. Short pass looking for Templeton. Templeton swings around onto the right foot, drives it into the goal square. It'll roll through for a behind. He's been very strong this afternoon, has Eli Templeton, and that's one more point for Burnie's cause. 8-8-56 for them. Launceston 3-3-21.
So the Blues desperately trying to build something late here in the second term. They've worked it to centre wing, where Lee chips inboard to Finch, who can turn and go in the middle of York Park. O'Donoghue on the move inside the 50, but too much on the kick. McKenna read it through the air, and he's been terrific across centre half back, or full back even, Nick McKenna. They've really got it past him. His kick out onto the far side had too much on it for Templeton. O'Keefe, who's been busy, his kick across the body, tried to create something for Shepherd, who was good enough to gather and then lay off to Sinclair, who goes back to Shepherd. Kick now inside the 50 again. Again McKenna in front, and again he takes the mark.
Picnic.
Just dominating the airwaves inside Launceston's forward 50. Nick McKenna, that hairstyle is working wonders. His kick up towards the railway wing, and Finch again there working hard for the Blues. Stevens, a hand pass on the up. Sinclair's kick inboard, finds Whiting this way and that. Hand pass off to Finch. They've got numbers out wide. It's Shepherd who has to kick it in a hurry. He was taken high as he kicked. So a free kick, and
it wasn't necessary, was it?
After disposal will be, that's telling.
Yep, so it would be a free kick to Launceston, and it's going the way of Tim Bristow, and he's only 30 metres out from goal. They've kicked us 3 goals this afternoon, and to say they need this would be an understatement. We've played more than 25 minutes in the second term. It's Burnie 8-8-56, Launceston 3-3-21, and Tim Bristow, last year's Tassie medalist, to keep his team in it, and he's missed it.
Everything was tentative around that. It was a stuttering run-up, it was ordinary. And for Burnie, it was a big moment for Burnie. You know, when you've got them down, you don't give them any sort of break at all. You know, that would have given them reason to believe, a little bit of space to breathe.
And now the Blues wait for the half-time break, with the Dockers working it down the broadcast wing, and an attempt to drive it inside 50 from Ellis by the Blues. Sails over the boundary line on the full, and this gives the very confident, very organised Dockers a chance to move it into attack one more time. There is Laycock trying to fly high for that clearing kick. It's fallen though for O'Keefe for the Blues. Finch is in there, he's trying everything, is Brian Finch. Rudy Barrett's never far from a contest today.
Another one who's trying everything for Launceston is O'Keefe. He's having a red-hot go.
It's those two.
Yeah.
It's Finch and O'Keefe for me. The rest of geez, a lot of them got to really lift.
Well, that's a 35-point lead for the Burnie Dockers, and the list of candidates for the best player on ground, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, is a pretty long one for the Dockers.
And barges through, leaves Bristow just trailing in his wake. They finally bring him down. It was Lonigan who got it to Finch, who started in the middle. Laycock working hard, got it going forward. Davies in there for the Dockers. It's a real rugby scrum to start the third quarter, and the umpire has seen enough. And we'll have a secondary bounce about 20 metres to Burnie's side of the centre circles. That breeze.
Savage is still on Laycock. He out jumped him with that first centre bounce.
Yeah, no, interesting move that one, is again the bodywork of Savage. I was going to say the breeze is certainly picked up and favouring the end that Launceston's kicking to. At the moment it's in tight. Trying to get through there was Fox for the Dockers. They get it going forward now. A quick kick. Baldock in a dangerous position. Myercheck there as well for the Dockers. It comes to the front with some space there. Feeding it back was Hardy, but the kick lands in Myers' arms, who steps around one, and then a high left foot kick towards the wing. Bristow with a couple to beat, couldn't quite at ground level. Barrett with his non-preferred. It's just a neat little kick down the line, and it's seen out of play by Marcus Lee. So we'll have a boundary throw in, about 70 around from the Dockers goal.
In front of the Railway Workers wing, the main scoreboard. There's Laycock getting down low to the ball at ground level. The ball flies here for Monday. Monday round the shoulder, inside 50. Chance here for the Dockers. Mark not taken first time, and the Blues defence under pressure early in the third quarter. The ball at ground level. Byer blows it up, and if the Dockers can get a break here, they may really be able to inflict some pain onto Launceston early in this premiership quarter of the grand final. Here's the bounce. Laycock's there, leaping high. Doesn't get to that one, and the ball is back on the ground, and we might see another bounce. Just a bit of a holding pattern here early in the third quarter. 2 minutes gone. Burnie 8-9-57, Launceston 3-4-22. There's the bounce. Laycock goes high, gets to it, kicks off the wrong foot, but didn't quite get the contact. And Launceston just scrambling here to keep the Dockers at bay. There's Laycock round the shoulder, left foot, that'll be a point. But he's oh so dangerous, the big man. And was that a point, or was it
out of bounds,
on the full?
Yeah, missed everything.
So the Dockers not quite capitalising on their field position at the moment. Now the ball being brought down the Railway wing, the outer side wing for the Blues. Good mark taken there by Sonny Whiting. Centre wing, outer side of the ground. Inside it is looking for Ellis. Couldn't take the mark cleanly. And the ball settles on the outer side, centre wing, with the Burnie side leading by 35 points.
Whiting continues to work hard in there for Launceston, but Shackleton somehow found the footy and got his boot to ball. Ellis was the tackler, did enough to affect the kick, and then Green's hand pass was a strange 0-1 to Meyer, missed him altogether, and it went out of play. So as we saw in the first half, play being played down the Railway wing, as we can see on the boundary line, the subs are warming up, maybe just staying warm. We'll see, might be something to change the complexion of this match, as we've got James Plant, the sub for Burnie, and Joseph Krushka for Launceston. Neither team has used them yet. As the Dockers going forward, Laycock with 3 to beat, almost brought it down. At ground level, it's about 30 from the Dockers goal. Templeton in there working hard, tackled the line again. Bristow thought his way through it and got it to Kolodashny. Good play from the Blues that time. The kick out into the path of Ellis, but he's got a couple to beat. And numbers went out there as Banham just shrugs the tackle. Thought his way through it, kept his head, and then kicks it towards half forward where Burnie have got the numbers. But again, it's Launceston through Meyer. Just an up and under kick in a hurry to half forward. Finch in front, fisted away by McKenna again. Gets it back almost to half forward for the Dockers. Stevens back first there, gets it to Harrison now. The Blues can attack down the broadcast side. Finch has found some space and the crowd finds some voice inside the 50. Oh, too much on it that time for Sinclair. And it's out of play 10 metres around from the right-hand point post. But that was at least a little bit better from the Blues. They had some space going forward.
He looked sore as he kicked that, Finch. He didn't follow it. You know, he works pretty hard after he kicks the ball most time, but he stopped very suddenly.
Well, he's had a big game. Derbyshire uncontested, but just couldn't get it to a teammate. Hardy for the Dockers with a clearing kick out to the far side. It's a good one. Finds the chest of Trent McCrossan. He goes back. He's got Eli Templeton breaking for him, and he finds him with a precise kick. Templeton wants to go. Meyer, they for the Blues, gets back and chops it off. He's been good today, Marjack Meyer.
He's been
All
very
on the
good.
string
Yeah,
this quarter.
been very good.
Meyer, centering kick, and the Blues work it out of defence. O'Keefe flies high from Mark. Shackleton's there, punches it away. Gee, Shackleton's moving everywhere. He is having a fantastic game. And the players wrestle the ball to the ground. Not quite to the ground, a wrestling contest for the ball, but it's going to be a bounce just outside the 50. Boundary side with the Burnie Dockers in attack. There is Burnie into attack again. There's Hayes off a right foot through the goals. Great goal to Brendan Hayes, and that's a hard job. Just got a whole lot more difficult for Launceston. Burnie now 9-9-63. Launceston 3-4-22. I put a lot of that down to Luke Shackleton's work early. but Hayes was on the spot. The ball bounced his way. He sprinted forward from 40 metres on a tight angle, drove it low into the breeze, and that's an opening goal of the third term for the Burnie Dockers. Andy Bennett.
Oh, well, Shackleton, you're right. He just held it up when he had no right to, because just he was a bull. He was more stronger, probably physically stronger, but he just had more intent, I thought, than the opposition. O'Keefe did well in the marking contest, but Shackleton was better there and held it inside. We talk about forward pressure all the time, really important, kept it inside 50.
What about the accountability? There's no accountability. It's a ball up in your forward line, no one goes and gets on him, he runs into an open goal.
I'm sure Anthony Taylor will be furious about that. The Dockers, again, a chance to go forward from the restart as Monday's left foot kick coming out to meet it, though, was O'Keefe, who hasn't stopped trying. His hand pass under pressure could only go as far as Hislop, who just hand passed in hope, really. Stevens intercepts. Got it to Shepherd, who kicks in a hurry towards half forward, but McKenna again. Oh, he must have taken close to a dozen marks. You'd think he's kicked to a dangerous spot in the middle. They've got space through the middle of York Park. The Templeton brothers combine. Jack Templeton hand pass over the top. Shackleton 60 from goal. He goes long to the goal mouth over the back, taking the mark almost was Baldock at ground level. Hayes through in a minute, and the Dockers are marching towards that first statewide premiership. They're not there yet, but by gee are they close. 10 goals, 9-69. They lead Launceston 3-4-22. Andy Bennett, the knife is being twisted.
Well, the hammer's out, the nails are ready. In the coffin, they're just about gone. And now it's out there, there's a fight going. But this is all, doesn't matter. It's gone. There's no glory in running and pushing guys in the back. There's glory in putting your head over the ball and winning the contest, which Burnie's done all the time. Free kick to Burnie. Just lack of discipline. Now, the big battle is the one that goes on between your ears.
So Burnie into attack. It was through Banham. And another big contest in the Burnie attacking 50. There's Barrett getting it away, and the Dockers really want to go in for the kill here. It is with Rice around the shoulder looking for a shot at goal. He's got a goal from a tiny angle, although we've got a play called back here. And Rice had a terrific shot at goal from no angle, round his shoulder, went through, and it's been play's been recalled.
You'd think the breeze is going the other way.
Yes, you would, wouldn't you? Now the ball's 70 metres from where the player, who is Hislop, is going to set himself for a shot at goal on the same angle that Rice shot from. But let's see what this ever-confident Burnie team can do from here. The teenager Hislop is 40 metres out, just a 5-degree angle. The breeze is blowing across him from the left. Right foot shot, and he's read that beautifully. I'll tell you what, a lot of AFL players that come here seem to be a bit put out by the conditions, but this Burnie team is reading the breeze here beautifully. That's a fine shot at goal from a young player. His team is just storming along here, and that doesn't hurt him, but Burnie 11-9-75 have got a 53-point lead over Launceston, who is 3-4-22 at the 9-minute mark of the third quarter. This is getting ugly.
I think they played their final last week, by the sounds of it. Well, by the look of it. I mean, they look out on their feet, Launceston. When you look at Burnie, they're running around, especially their young kids. I mean, Eli Templeton just sprinted from the forward half of the ground to the back half just to congratulate the back half of the ground. They're full of beans, they're up and about, and they win this by a long way the way they're going.
So the Dockers march on. Savage got that tap in the ruck that time, got it going forward, but the Dockers working hard at ground level. Barrett again involved. They've got it to half forward just through sheer willpower. And Lonigan there working hard for the Blues. He manages to hold them up for the time being, and in fact he's won a free kick. So Jesse Lonigan, who by his standards has been relatively quiet this afternoon, at centre half back for the Blues. He kicks out to the broadcast side where Shipton is breaking for him. He's one-on-one with Shackleton. You wouldn't bet against Shackleton the way he's going, but he goes to ground, bounces to his feet, still gets involved and wins the footy and gets the free kick. And let's Gary Shipton know all about it. There's been a fair bit of niggle in this term as the Blues, we mentioned they're a proud club and they aren't enjoying what's happening to them at the moment.
You wouldn't pick Luke Shackleton in the sale yard now, would you, if you're going for the footballer? Oh, my God, he's effective, isn't he?
His kick up the wing, numbers favouring the Blues. Koladashny in front and juggled mark in the end. He's been okay today, playing across half back. He's seen plenty of the footy, and his kick, he's trying to create something here. Woolley is broken for him down the far side. It just needs to sit. It bounces over his head. He's got time, gets past the tackle of Baldock and then kicks under pressure on the bounce to Whiting, just outside the 50. He tries to create something, taps it to his advantage, this way and that, and feeds it back to Derbyshire. Off a step from 55, and the kick sails out of bounds on the full. And it's been that sort of afternoon for Adam Derbyshire, as the Dockers will take the free kick about 10 metres around from the goals they're defending. David Lithgow, those clouds are starting to close in a little bit. You've stayed brave, I noticed, by moving undercover in the grandstand.
No, Damien, that's not true at all. I'm just having a moment here. I think we are going to get a bit of rain, but it's certainly raining goals. It's about stopping the bleeding here now for Launceston. Down here on the bench, Damien, it's deathly silence. It's a case of what do we do now? As we see Derbyshire about to have a kick on goal from a free kick, and I mean, his development hasn't been. He has given him nothing, I guess, from full forward. And again, it's O'Keefe and Finch and not much else. It's desperate stakes here for Launceston, holding on by a thread.
They need a run of at least 3 goals to bring some life back into their chances here, as Derbyshire lines up on the rim of 50. Not much angle, and he's got under that. It won't travel, although it's got a breeze behind it, and it'll drift to the right, and it's a behind. So just when they needed their sharpshooter to drill one home, he sort of just poked it a bit.
Well, he just got too
drifted
close to the man on the mark. In the end, he had to get up and over him before the ball could go anywhere.
So a paltry point for Launceston. That will not do for them. They've got to get a run of major scores. Down the outer side wing it goes, and there's another fine mark by Jason Laycock, who is dominating this game. Finest player in the competition is having an outstanding grand final. Centre wing, outer side of the ground, and he drives it inside 50 into the breeze. Myers there for the Blues, punches it away. And as always, there's white jumpers swarming over the ball.
Well, I was watching
the boundary line.
When Laycock kicked the ball in, there were 14 players from Launceston who were ahead of Burnie, who were ahead of the ball, running forward, making an option.
Boundary throw, just in front of the grandstand on the railway side of the ground. Punched away by Launceston. Brian Finch is in the middle of it all, trying to get something going, but he does look a little bit tender the way he's moving. And this great band of champions is now got to find an exceptional burst of play to keep this contest alive. It is Burnie by 52 points in the grand final. Play in the middle of the ground. What can the Blues do here? There's some players free as it goes towards 50. Stevens can't take it first time. And there's 3 white jumpers around 1 blue. Now there's a chance here for a Lonergan for the Blues. Around the shoulder goes Koladashny, and that's a goal. Much needed. Cade Koladashny, well set up by Jesse Lonergan. And another 7.5 minutes of that sort of stuff might bring the Launceston Blues back into contention in this grand final.
They're the boys that need to stand up. You know, the young kids like that. It was Jesse to Cade, and they need more.
On at the restart, Laycock won it down and then found it at ground level. Hand pass just forward, opened up some space for McKenna, who overran it. Bristow,
he's crook. Bristow
toe poked it out to the wing. He struggled with osteitis pubis all season and not covering the ground well.
He copped the hard knock early on the first quarter. Quarter, the first contest, he got the hard knock out wide.
There was absolutely no power in his running then, was it? He was running like a sore man.
So the kick came forward from Beau Green, but it's eventually herded out of play by the Dockers on their half-back flank. Standing up well, the Dockers' defence. It's been McKenna who's led the way, but Templeton's been good on Derbyshire, and they've got back in numbers. Banham's been good. And as the kick goes forward, working hard underneath a couple of Blues players there is Hayes. He's held onto the footy. Now this is one of those interesting ones where a player takes possession at ground level. The umpire happy enough with Hayes' effort and comes in to ball it up. It's just Burnie's side of the wing on the far side. And again, plenty of congestion around the footy. O'Donoghue taps it, Laycock roves it, kicks it to half forward, says thanks very much, and taking the mark in front. Gee, terrific hands on that occasion from Brodie Myercheck. That's how he started the game, provided a real target, plays it on quickly from outside 50. Geez, made good contact but just missed it to the near side. Could have given himself a bit more time, you'd think.
Yeah, I think he overestimated the difficulty of the shot, really.
A bit of poise would be handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Nathan O'Donoghue, last year's best on ground in the grand final. Across the goals, finds a teammate in Harris. Harris bringing it down the broadcast wing. It'll find Brian Finch, but Shackleton intercepts. Oh, he's having a whale of a game, is Luke Shackleton. So full of energy. And for a bigger guy, he's covering the ground beautifully. Now the Dockers into attack. And once again, Shackleton at the root of it as we see Laycock get it away to Hayes. Hayes around the shoulder.
Yeah.
Third goal of the quarter.
He was
Yes,
never
it is.
going to miss.
Off the left foot that time. First two off the right. And Braden Hayes is having a brilliant third quarter and is just cracking this game right open for his team, the Burnie Dockers. The Dockers now 12-10-82. Launceston 4-5-29.
What do they talk about in cricket? You're in the zone where you just can't miss. You just see him. That boy is right in the zone at the minute. He just cannot miss. That was just going to happen. It was just going to happen.
We've played almost 18 minutes in the third term. It's Burnie 12-10-82, leading Launceston 4-5-29. It's been a dominant performance as Laycock takes it out of the ruck and then kicks it forward. Stevens there for the Blues, won it and then laid it off, but the Blues are under enormous pressure across half-back. Myercheck got the ball for the Dockers and got it to Monday, who fed it back to a teammate in Hardy, who finds some space inside 50, wanted Baldock, but too much that time on the kick, and Woolley there for the Blues gets back, and his kick up the wing was a funny one because didn't really favour his teammate at all, and coming across and taking the mark was Rice. His kick inboard opens it up for a teammate, McCrossan, who dances around the man on the mark and pumps it inside 50. Laycock circling, but Baldock in front.
Plays tall, doesn't he?
Good hands. He's got long arms.
Three Launceston boys all tried to take the mark. No one attempted to spoil.
Yeah, there's bits of their game have fallen apart, hasn't it?
Yep,
Their
really
accountability, defensive skill.
Just the basic stuff is really falling apart.
So Rowan Baldock to extend the margin for the Dockers. We've spoken already about the amazing comeback he's achieved this year, and he comes with that funny kicking style of his. He chips it over the goal umpire's head. And the Dockers march along here in the third term. 13 goals, 10-88. Lead the Blues 4-5-29. We've played 19 minutes in the third term.
You wouldn't guess there's a 4-goal breeze blowing the other way, would you?
I didn't think there.
There's a centre bounce. Now, what can the Blues do here? There's a bit of time left in this quarter to get some score on the board. And maybe they can play for some pride in the final term if we agree that the margin, which is 13-10-88 to 4-5-29, 59 points.
Well, that's the point now, Peter. They've got to convince themselves there's a reason to play well. That's the biggest challenge they face.
Big stage as we watch Burnie now through O'Keefe, who's tried hard all day, but once again hard, committed defence from the Dockers. It's Luke Shackleton again. He must be racking up the credits in for whoever decides who's the best player on ground. It is me,
yeah.
But he's having a fantastic game. It'll be an interesting decision as to when that happens. A long way to go in this football game yet, though, with 20 minutes gone in the third term, and the Blues looking for some score with Rice on the ball now for the Burnie Dockers. He seems to be a little bit dazed by maybe some late contact. It's Darren Banham with the ball now, with the free kick. And he plays down the outer side, the railway side, flying high as Laycock. The Donohue's there. I know who's had the better of that contest so far. Another free kick, and the Dockers are just surging forward here relentlessly. Now Laycock into the breeze. What will he do? Chips it towards a teammate in Davies. Myers there to cover. It's with Barrett for the Dockers. The ball goes into the centre square. Leaping high for the Blues is Sinclair. Meyer tries to clear it. The Launceston team under all sorts of pressure here as they break away in front of the railway workers' wing.
So Woolley with 3 bounces, and then the forward hand pass puts his teammate under pressure. They're trying to create something here, the Blues, but nothing is working. They've been held up again at half-back. Whiting now lends assistance, and Lee with a kick under pressure up the wing. It's going to come back, though, because Walters, just defensive side of the wing for the Dockers, feeds it inboard to Hardy, who goes back to Walters, who assesses his options by hand again. They're building something now as the kick comes inside 50. Numbers arriving there over the back. Baldock flies, couldn't quite at ground level. It's Woolley, who just lost it at ground level. Myercheck there, and Shackleton working hard for Burnie. Ball still in dispute. Baldock half a chance. The hand pass on the up, couldn't find a teammate. And it's Lee who's being tackled to ground for Launceston, 12 metres out from Burnie's goal.
Their defensive component of Burnie's game's been outstanding everywhere, from full forward to full back.
Yeah.
Just
their
wonderful.
work ethic to tackle, to push over it out number has been fantastic.
Shackleton again working hard, bust a couple of tackles, could have almost been pinged. You'd think the hand pass out in the direction of Davies, who's pretty happy to see it out of play.
Just about deliberate.
Yeah. In their forward line, I guess the umpire benefit of the doubt. And the boundary umpire wasting no time to toss it back in. So the Dockers pressing hard. Laycock won it down. O'Donoghue, though, getting the kick and lands in the arms of a teammate, a little luckily, who quickly kicks up the wing to the direction of Stevens. He's one-on-one with Hardy, who fists it away. Walters first there for the Dockers. His hand pass finds Rice. He goes for a run down the wing and then pumps it inside 50 again. Laycock well placed, just lent on O'Donoghue, but O'Donoghue the man in front. And that's a win there for the big man from Launceston. Lays it off to Green, who breaks the line, and his kick, well, just missed the target altogether. So again, under pressure here, Launceston, and it's going to come back as the Dockers working it in numbers. Walters pumps it to a dangerous spot. Laycock couldn't quite at ground level. Shackleton, the hand pass over the top. Big chance here if it sits for Smith. It is in the pocket. Oh, well done in the end by Lonigan. He was the last man standing for the Blues. He's kicked to Kolodashny, who was clean below his knees, and then the kick was a wobbler to the wing. Broadcast side, it beats a couple. Lands in the arms of Bannon. This way and that around Whiting. Has a bounce. Touch of arrogance. The kick to half forward. O'Donoghue best placed with courage goes back and takes the mark with Myercheck closing from behind. Though Green didn't like the attention there. O'Donoghue has stayed down.
I reckon he marked that.
And I reckon you're right, Andy. O'Donoghue's in a bit of trouble here as the Launceston players remonstrating with Brodie Myercheck.
He didn't hit him that hard.
From up here, he didn't hit him that hard. No, true enough, I reckon. Yeah. And he's going to give 50 there.
He deserved 50.
Dust himself off, you reckon, and get on with it?
I think there was another layer in what you were saying there. Maybe that we might need to talk about it at another time.
Well, you know, a couple of veteran coaches here in the box. Comes out from time to time as O'Donoghue, little kick and onto the chest of Derbyshire, who drops the chest mark. You can hear the groans of the crowd. It spills to Jordan Harris, who breaks a couple, kick under, pressure on goal. And a behind is the result. So Launceston scrape their way to 4 goals, 6-30. And they trail the Dockers by 58 points, 13-10, 88. And we've played 25 minutes in the third term.
Clay Hardy, who scored a brilliant running goal in the second quarter to really set Burnie alight in this game, clears it out of the defensive 50. Leaping high there is Myercheck. He's been outstanding.
He's been terrific.
Very, very good. He's got some mates as well in the all-white of Burnie. Myercheck plays on. It's Barrett and O'Keefe a contest, but Barrett wins out there. Good body strength. Centre wing outer side of the ground. The Blues move into attack. Desperate hoik towards 50. Mark taken by Whiting. Whiting wheels around, steps, slips. Nothing working here for the Premiers. Reigning Premiers for the time being. And Launceston can't get inside 50. It's all done at double speed for them. Now the ball goes looking for Stevens, but it's taken very neatly there by Walters for the Dockers. And here's Luke Shackleton in space. Nice turn from a big guy. Gee, I'm impressed with the way he's played today. Gets it back to Hardy. Hardy hand pass back to Shackleton. Chips it straight into the path of Jesse Lonigan. That wasn't Shackleton's best moment. Let's forgive him. And Lonigan chips, centering chip, and it's intercepted by Cade Munday, who's been also very good for the Dockers. Munday plays on, finds Hayes, has had a superb third quarter. Quite brilliant. And centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. Hayes drives it on the right foot towards 50. Barrett's there, as is a McKenna. McKenna punches it away, falls for O'Keefe here for the Blues. Just trying to dribble it on the foot like a soccer player. Running backwards to Launceston. Yeah, under some pressure there is Savage, clearing it down the to the outer side, the railway wing. And Launceston, for the moment, have a bit of space, but once again, harassing defence from Burnie puts the Launceston Blues under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, and they've coughed it up across half forward where the Dockers are just queuing up. It's in the hands of Barrett, who from outside the 50 just chips it into the path of Jack Templeton, who takes the mark. He's run up from full back.
He's played on Derbyshire for most of the day. He's done an outstanding job. He's had a very good game, the young man.
Had the job on Brian Finch in last year's grand final. And from memory, he applied himself quite well that day as well. Now he's a chance. If it hasn't been sealed already, it's the Dockers leading by 58 points late in the third term to put an exclamation point on it. As we approach three-quarter time, Jack Templeton has hung it out to the right and it's not coming back. So the Dockers move to 13-11-89, leading Launceston 4-6-30.
The TSL Grand Final for 2012 on ABC Local Radio, 936 ABC Hobart and ABC Northern Tasmania. Peter Newlands, Damien McIver, Matthew Armstrong, Andy Bennett and David Lithgow with you. And at the 27-minute mark of the third quarter, the Dockers have cracked this game right open. 13-10-88 to 4-6-30, with the Blues desperately trying to get some score on the board before the three-quarter time break. But Nick McKenna, who's been outstanding for the Dockers, has it. Hand pass to Barrett. Everything's working here for Burnie. Chip pass, looking for Hayes. Hayes and Harris, a good contest there, but Harris has been pretty good for the Dockers today. Gets there, but a lovely late tackle by Brody Myercheck. This is an inspired performance all round by Burnie. And there's going to be a boundary throw, and there's the promise perhaps of more scoring for the Dockers late in this third quarter, and they'll have the breeze at their back in the final term. McKenna flies high for the Dockers, and Launceston now bring it away. But a great mark taken there by Jack Templeton. He finds Hardy, wonderful running goal in the second quarter for him. Well, the half-time score was 8-9-57 to the Dockers to 3-4-22 for Launceston. In that quarter of football, Launceston kicked 8 points, 1 goal and 2 behinds, and the Burnie score advanced by 5 goals and 2 behinds. So the critical quarter has come and gone, and Burnie have answered every question, and they look as if they're going to their first ever major state title.
Miracles don't happen like this. Miracles cannot happen. They are, and it's going to be a great story. Won't call it too early. Let's wait until the end to celebrate that. But they were outstanding in that quarter when they had to be. If Myers gone in against McKenna, this would be interesting. One a big leap, one a big grunt.
Yep, and he's been good today, Meyer. There were question marks around him being brought in, but I think he's justified that. It's McKenna, though, that wins the tap, getting it going forward for the Dockers. Scramble just Burnie's side of the centre circles. Over the top of it's McCrossan. And the umpire will come in and toss it up again. Conditions have stayed pretty good here. There was a chance of rain, but that appears to have blown over. Still overcast here at York Park, and still a healthy crowd. Most supporters have travelled down from Burnie will be enjoying what they're seeing as play continues. It's Banham who comes out from half back for the Dockers and then thumps it down the wing with a scrappy old kick. It's over the top of his teammate down there in Hislop. Harris sees it out of play, just Burnie's side of centre wing.
Hislop's just 16, is he? 17?
Hislop, played in the state under 16s this year.
Meyer in front at the throw in, gets it to Lee, who spins past one tackle, just gets his handball away in time. Stevens over the top, another player who perhaps isn't moving as well as he'd like to. The tackle though on McCrossan was a good one. Held him up for the time being. Lonigan tries to crash through. He keeps the ball in front of him, but he's besieged by 3 Dockers. Banham eventually brings him down, and the ball will be tossed up just Launceston's side of centre wing.
That's him at his best, Lonigan. He didn't end up getting clear possession, but he was under extreme possession, kept his extreme pressure, kept his nose over the ball, kept it in his area.
And he did well. It's McKenna in the ruck, and Lonigan the hand pass missed his target in Bristow, who can keep it in only for a moment. Bundled out of play by Templeton.
I'm just going to ask about his. He plays a level of maturity, doesn't he?
He's a very good young man.
Centre half wing, Meyer leaps high for the Blues. Brian Finch can't handle it first time, and Templeton sends the Dockers into attack with the breeze. Ball sails over the head of the Docker player looking for the ball. It's going now into the path of Monday. Monday around the shoulder, goal!
See, that was terrific from Hislop, wasn't it? He just summed it up, sorry. But it was fantastic from Hislop.
It was.
Because he didn't blaze away. He was under a lot of pressure. He knew where to put it. He just had a sense of where to go. That's a maturity that, belies the years.
Monday, goal of Monday, indicative of the Burnie performance. So confident, hooking it round. There was not a lot of time to work with, but he found the goals, and everything's working here for the Dockers. And this could be a crushing defeat for Launceston here this afternoon. This fine team, assembled by Brent Plant. It's been a long-term build-up to this day, I think, for the Burnie Dockers Football Club. Some great years in the NTFL. You might even take it back to Mick McGuan's spell there as coach. We can talk about that later.
German before him.
The Blues now playing for pride and nothing else. There's Lonigan. Hand pass to Meyer. Meyer gets it away here to Lee. Lee driving it inside 50. And it's solid bump off the
McKenna-
off the ball there in the goal square. Andy?
McKenna just put, this is indicative of how Burnie played. He just put enough pressure on. It was right at the last minute, so that kick couldn't hit the target precisely. Burnie got in the way. Just terrific team commitment.
Banham now with the socks around the ankles. Just plays it in front of goal, and with Shackleton ball in hand, things look pretty safe for the Dockers. Measured play down the broadcast wing. Laycock leaping high for a mark. Doesn't quite get there. Brian Finch is trying everything. Falls here for Harris for the Blues. One bounce, driving forward. It's two bounces. Tries to find a teammate inside 50, but Stevens was the target, but intercepted very well there for the Burnie side by Lee. And the Dockers controlling everything. They go again down the broadcast wing.
Strong hands.
On that occasion, O'Keefe intercepts. He's been one of the better players for Launceston this afternoon.
He's been their best. I think Finch has struggled for fitness in the second half.
Hand pass to Harris across the face of goal. It is with Green now. Green straightens it up. Left foot chip. Finds Lonigan. Middle of the ground. Lonigan pass looking for Bristow, but Plant there is way too athletic. And Burnie surge again. It's party time here for the Dockers. Hislop looking for that mark. Finch trying hard to repel it. Hislop plays on. Bulldogs there for the Dockers. Ball on the ground inside the Dockers 50. And O'Keefe once again brings it away for Burnie. For Launceston.
Yeah, just a steady head there from O'Keefe. Found McCabe, who goes with a wobbly kick across the face to Woolley, but they've got space on the outer side. They worked it well out to Meyer, who just needs to gather. He's got about 40 metres, maybe even 50. Takes his time and then kicks it up the wing, and it's a good kick in the end. Finds Kolodashny at half forward for the Blues. He straightens it up to Stevens. In fact, it's McCabe on the left. Well, space opening up for both teams here, and Marcus Lee just drifted forward, has taken the mark. 40 from goal.
Contests aren't as fierce as they were early on.
She's gone off 3 or 4 levels, hasn't it, the game?
Yeah. So I reckon he's been okay today, Lee. In fact, he's had a good final series. He was good last week. Battled hard. Played 9 games this year. He's kicked just the 4 goals. So chance to get his 5th here from 35 metres. The kick. And I think he snuck it home. So Launceston get their 5th goal of the afternoon. I must admit, coming here today, by the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter, I thought Launceston would have had more than 5 goals to their name. But that
that mark taken for Burnie, and they swing into attack again. It was Hardy. Hardy's kick is a good one. But Launceston defence on that occasion up to the task. There's Myercheck always close to the ball today. Moving onto the ball, but some blue numbers there. Saw the ball shepherded over the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw with the Dockers still looking dangerous. David Lithgow, boundary.
Yeah, look, I was just going to ask Matthew Armstrong as we look here at potential Launceston do get out of defence, so we've got a minute here to talk. Changing the guard, really, no doubt, for Launceston going forward. We know they're veterans. The Colts did win last year's premiership and just missed out again this year. So the future, it does look reasonably rosy, even though a few of these veterans are going to go by the wayside as shifting going forward, missing that goal. So interesting, isn't it, Dogger? It's Launceston. I think there's plenty of sunrise on the horizon.
Oh, yeah, no, look, I think they've got plenty of depth at their football club. It's just probably today the younger boys probably haven't stepped up to where we think their ability is, where the Burnie Dockers young men, and there's 11 boys out there under the age of 21. They've got a very good future. They really have. If they can keep Laycock and Shackleton and these boys around for a little bit longer, they have a very bright future. I mean, we talk about how poorly Launceston probably played today, but they can only play as well as Burnie let them play. And I just think Burnie have been very, very impressive today, the way they've played their footy.
Yeah, spot on. The Dockers from the kicking got it to centre wing, and at the boundary throw in, the Blues going forward. Lee, who's just playing across half back, found the footy and got it back to his teammate there in Bannon, who's been really good this afternoon. Really put a foot wrong, playing just that kick behind. Two Blues players run into each other. It's been that sort of day. Woolley and O'Keefe have both tried hard. Ends up with a good kick around the body from Knott. One of the Ulverston Legion that joined the Dockers this season. Not without its controversy as well, as the Dockers move it into the middle of the ground with Monday just forward of the centre. He's got options over the top. Diving mark, almost taking it, was the big man McKenna. Found it at ground level, under pressure, just had to paddle it free. And
Good
still
work.
working in there, manages to hold it up as Shepherd there for the Blues.
They've been well led, haven't they? If you think about, because I reckon that's a really important component when you come to finals, leadership. Your best players, the guys that, the young guys, or everyone inside looks up to, they've got to perform. If McKenna has, Laycock has, Shackleton has, Monday has, all put their head over the ball when they had to. Terrific.
Well, in the contest down his centre wing, two Launceston boys fall to the ground, and Burnie just take the ball away again. Just strong.
Going forward again here, the Dockers, quick kick from outside the goal square, almost tumbled through, but the Blues got numbers back and shepherded across the line. Woolley wasting no time at all, bringing it back into play, and he spots up O'Keefe in the pocket. So both teams seemingly playing for time, it would seem. Green under pressure, thinks his way through it and finds Lonigan, who decides to go for a run on the wing. He's being chased pretty well in the end by Rice. Lonigan lays it off to Ellis, who's running inboard, approaching the 50 now. Whiting stretches in front. Sinclair, in fact, it was, but reaching over the top. Taking a really good mark was Harry Walters, team of the year this year, and he's been a really good player. Stuck with the club when they struggled, when they lost all their players 2 years ago, and he's reaping the rewards now. And it's Monday down the outer side, and that's a good kick too onto the chest of Breakey, who steps around Meyer on the mark, and then it's a high kick towards half forward. Camped underneath it and stretching and taking the mark was Plant, who's been injected into the game. Started as a sub. Plays on quickly, kick inside the 50. He's got Knott working hard into the pocket, taken out of play almost by Woolley, decided to keep it in. Knott finds it again at ground level, spins, working hard on the boundary line. Somehow the ball stays in and the Dockers a fumble just when they were thinking about eyeing the goals. It was Hayes in the pocket who really lit up the third term with 3 goals, thought about getting a fourth, perhaps spent it before he got it, and we'll have a boundary throw in 20 metres around from the Dockers goal. One decisively by Myercheck, almost too decisively in the end. He thumps it back out of bounds, and we'll do it all again.
Got a crowd figure, Damien, 5,509. Pretty good attendance. Beautiful day for football. And the people that have rolled up today have seen an exquisite performance by the Burnie Dockers, who are not finished yet. Barrett round the shoulder, hooks at goal. That'll be another one for Burnie there. Improvisation, and there's... Oh, hang on, it was only a behind, but look, I thought the reaction was as of a goal, but that sort of confident strike of the ball has been a hallmark of Burnie's performance today. Now, Launceston trying to mount a bit of a late rally here with Lonigan chipping in towards 50. Good mark taken there by Shipton. The Butcher on the right foot drives it into the 50 metre, into the goal square. That was.
Oh, holy dooly.
Stevens.
Roddy Stevens.
That's as good as you see.
As Shipton wouldn't be denied, drove it inside 50, and the man who epitomises so many of the good things in football took a spectacular mark, and he can. Let's hope he finishes that off for his own sake.
I'm just hanging out for the replay. My eyes are fixed on that scoreboard over there where we might see it again. I mean, that was fabulous.
Scott Stevens, what a mark. Can he do the thing justice and drive home a 6-pointer? 45 out, not much of an angle, into the breeze. And he's got there. What a great individual passage of play there by Launceston. It was Gary Shipton inside 50. Wonderful leap by Scott Stevens. And the Blues have got a goal on the board. 6-7-43 to them, but I'll need a few more of those in a big hurry to make any sort of fist of this game. They won't do it. Burnie 14-13-97. They're still around about, I'd say, 20 or so minutes to go in the game.
Tell you what has happened this quarter. Jesse Lonigan, I think, is playing on a wing because he's running up and down here. He's had an impact at last. He really has saved it. He's played really well in this quarter. It's taken a long time to get it out of him.
Yeah, could have done with it maybe 45 minutes ago.
An hour ago. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to start him in the middle. I don't get that.
So McKenna and O'Donoghue in the ruck. Spills Burnie's way. Kick going forward. Reaching over the back and taking a good mark was Harris, who plays on. Outpointed Hayes on that occasion. By hand to O'Donoghue. He wanted to work the 1-2. O'Donoghue decided he'll have a kick instead. And the kick, well, didn't really favour his teammate out there in Shepherd. He's working one-on-one with Breakey, and Breakey sees it out of play. It's been interesting during the game. I've just been watching one of Tasmania's finest football exports, Brady Rawlings, in front of us, who does some recruiting work for North Melbourne now. He's got the pad and the clipboard out, and yeah, be interested to see what he makes of it all.
Wouldn't mind a penny for his wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember him as we all remember, he's a 17-year-old. I remember him coming along as a 16, 17-year-old, one of our state squads. He's one of the nicest young kids I ever met. Wrote us a letter afterwards thanking us for inviting him to training. He's a terrific young bloke.
He's a serious footballer in his day too.
Yeah. 2, 3, best and fairest at North Melbourne?
Yep. I think it might have been 3. So the Dockers on the outer side, it's Shackleton just holding up proceedings. It's called to play on. He won't be hurried. He's done all he needed to this afternoon and then some, Luke Shackleton. Got the kick to Smith, who squares it up to Bannum, who, well, just leant back on it and was smothered by Lee, and there's no one in front of him.
He's made up for it.
So Bannum goes back and lays the tackle, dispossessed. Walters butters up and gives it back to Bannum. So they made hard work of it to get back to where they started, and then his kick, well, it clean bowled Scotty Stevens. It was ill-directed. The hand pass on the up to Breakey, who can stroll to 35 metres and kick the goal.
Good football.
Who gave that hand pass? Because that was sharp.
Dylan Smith.
He's done some nice things this afternoon, but none better than that. Picked it up around his bootlaces and fired it out. And Breakey obliged by finishing off his work. 15 goals, 13. The Dockers 103. And they've blown Launceston out of the water. 6 goals, 7-43. We've played 15 minutes in the final term. And the Premiership Cup is heading to the northwest coast.
Yep, 3 figures up for Burnie on 936 ABC Hobart and ABC Northern Tasmania, the 2012 TSL Grand Final. Launceston playing Burnie. Burnie will win the flag sometime in the next dozen or so minutes. Local football on local radio on a Saturday afternoon in Tasmania. There is McKenna, once again outstanding, driving it forward. What can the Dockers do here? It falls for Baldock, breaks away, scores. Well, that was all about McKenna's drive and Baldock's very sharp instincts in front of goal. Wasn't the prettiest shot at goal you'll ever see, but the ball broke for him after that driving run by Nick McKenna. And Rowan Baldock slotted one through. And the score sheet will tell us only how many, not how he did it. 16, 13, 109 to 6, 7, 43. Well, the Burnie Dockers are having a field day here this afternoon.
Well, that's it in the end. That's a really classically constructed goal. You win the centre, you kick it long, you get a good contest at the top of the square, and you get Crummers there first. Baldock's a good player, isn't he? Because he marks tall, he crumbs like that. At this level, he's a very, very handy player because he gets his goals in lots of different ways.
11 goals the margin. It's Lee into the ruck for the Dockers. They just keep hitting the Blues where it hurts. As a real scramble here just to the left of the centre circles. The umpire has seen enough and will come in and ball it up again.
Just quickly, Damien, of course, ABC Grandstand, we've got the coverage of Hawthorn West Coast coming up at 5:15. Some huge news there that you're not going to be overly thrilled with the great Luke Hodge, a late omission. Damien McIver, stay in your seat.
Okay, righto. Well, I'm going home, but in the meantime, that's a lovely kick inside the 50 by Scott Stevens to find Adam Derbyshire, who finally clunks one, and a chance to go back from 35 metres and kick the goal. I don't know if I believe Flash. I reckon he might just say that to wind me up. Anyway,
it is absolute factual.
Derbyshire shot on goal, and he makes no mistake. So barely a celebration there for the Blues. They know this one is gone. They get their 7th of the afternoon. 7 goals, 7:49, trailing Burnie 16-13, 109.
Our coverage of the Hawks Crows prelim final from 5 o'clock. As soon as we've wrapped up the presentations and the post-match interviews here at York Park. And we're in the dying minutes of the 2012 local footy season, Andy.
I was just going to say, one of the things that I think Burnie have exploited really well is that Derbyshire and Whiting, between them, have kicked over 100 goals. And behind them, the next best is a dozen goals or something, for 15 goals for Launceston. And Burnie have covered them really well. Templeton's been fantastic. Banham's been fantastic against Wyndham.
18 minutes gone in the final term. Burnie 16-13, 109. Launceston 7-7, 49. There's Lonergan driving forward, having a good final quarter, looking for Derbyshire, and a very good mark taken there by the top goal scorer in the season, bar one. And he may yet get another goal to his name and get Launceston past that half-century mark and keep the score line semi-respectable, if that's the right way to look at it. Here's Derbyshire in the sunshine, kicking into the breeze, stabs it lowish, and I think he's got that one through, and that'll take Launceston's tally on to 55 points. 8-7-55 to Burnie 16-13, 109. 19 minutes gone in the grand final, and the trophy engraver will be well and truly at work here, putting the Burnie name onto a state football trophy for the first time.
Matty, I suspect I know what your answer is. If you were coaching this side, would you have ever started Lonergan in around the ball?
All the time. Every
that's
centre bounce. That's his strength.
That's what he does. I don't understand
it. That's his role he plays in any side. It's his ability to win the contested possession.
Put him in for every stoppage.
Oh, my word.
So the Blues going forward again. The kick from Bristow, but doing really well. Taking the mark was Banham now. That was interesting.
Didn't pay the mark to start with.
Okay, so it won't be a 50
Is he going to give 50?
Penalty, I don't think.
No, because he didn't blow the whistle.
Yeah, so a mark to Banham in the end. Plus the confusion abates as he finds McCrossan, who pumps it long down the outer side. Too much on it for Myercheck, who races back with Savage on his tail. Tries to get around him, goes to ground, but keeps it inboard. And then the hand pass frees it up for Jack Templeton, who approaches 50 and will eye the goals. He's had a few cracks this afternoon. Templeton still can't quite nail the goal as Baldock 2-on-1. It's fisted through for a minor score.
Damien, I actually posed that question to Coach Anthony Taylor about Jesse Lonergan yesterday, and the theory is behind it. They like to use him on the wing to isolate him, but there's no doubt about it. He looks like they've missed that midfield grunt. He's a see ball, get ball type player, isn't he? It certainly hasn't worked as well as they would have expected.
No doubt about that. As the Blues going forward, the kick just to space, pitches at half forward and sits up for Breakey, who's brought to ground. Here's Lonergan, feeds it back to Bristow on his left side. The kick inboard, well, it's all Burnie going back, and Banham couldn't take the mark. Coming out to meet it there was Walters. Banham and Walters have done so much right this afternoon. They struggle here, though, as Koladashny on his left shoe. He's kicked one this afternoon, he gets two. And that's one young man who can hold his head high, Cade Koladashny, and part of this next generation of Launceston, which, must be said, will need to come on because their veterans haven't got too many more years left.
I think he's been very good, Koladashny. He's in a side that's losing. He hasn't got a lot of easy ball. There hasn't been a lot of easy open ball to get. He's stood up. He's kicked a couple of good goals. Runs hard. I like him.
21 and a half minutes gone in the final term. Burnie 16-14, 110. Launceston 9-7-61. To the AFL coverage at 5 o'clock. But on local radio across Tasmania, you're listening to the closing stages of the TSL Grand Final, and it will be a Burnie victory. It's a question of by how much. Brian Finch onto a ball that was won out of the centre. And the Dockers, rather the Blues, go into attack. Derbyshire becoming quite prominent late in the game. Didn't quite take that mark. Ball still on the ground, with the Blues looking to add to their scoring tally late in the game and just bring some respectability back to proceedings here. But that's all they can do. Perfect afternoon for football. Half the ground covered in shadow, the other half bathed in sunshine. A real spring feel to the day. Clouds around all day, but the rain has held off, thankfully. And the 5,500 people that have shown up here have seen a very good performance from the Burnie Dockers. The ball still is over the boundary line. It'll be a boundary throw with the Launceston Blues a chance to move into attack. The ball just on the rim of their attacking 50. Punched away there in a defence from Burnie. It falls here for McCabe for the Blues. McCabe chipping it into the goal square, but a good strong mark taken in defence there for the Burnie Dockers by Cade Monday. What a steady player he is. Very calm, thinking player. He finds Shackleton outstanding this afternoon. He's got plenty of company in that regard. Lee with the ball in full sunshine in front of the main replay scoreboard on top of the Railway Workers wing, and the Dockers just keeping possession. taunting almost their opposition, who've had a bit of a rally late in the game. There is Barrett looking for a mark as the ball is driven into the Burnie attacking 50, but the Launceston Blues seemingly playing pretty well now at this late stage in the game. Finding a bit of rhythm. There's Woolley down the broadcast wing, looking for a teammate there in Derbyshire. It falls here for, that's Lee, and Lee's kick is off the outside of his left boot, over the boundary line on the full. There'll be a boundary throw here, and maybe this is the chance for the siren to blow in front of a nice gathering of purple and white clad Burnie supporters.
Yeah, approaching the 24-minute mark, and Banham just drives it out to the far side where Lee accepts the mark, played on, and then thought better of it. Tackled Shawley holding the ball. Prior opportunity, Sinclair rips it off him, kicks it forward for the Blues. Now it's up to the Dockers defence to try and butter up, and Banham ends up giving away the free kick. So consolation stuff this for the Blues. It's Gary Shipton, who had his battles down back earlier in the game, has moved forward. We know one thing, he'll never stop trying. And he's a chance to get Launceston's 10th. He wastes no time, drives it hard and kicks a point. So Launceston moved to 9-8-62. The Dockers 16-14, 110. We've played 24 and a half minutes in the final term.
I came expecting a big day from Gary Shipton. He's one of my favourites. I love the way he goes about it, but he just hasn't played. I haven't seen him really leap for a mark or, just really take the game on in the way that I know he can, and that's a bit indicative of the way Launceston have played.
Luke Shackleton onto the ball after the mark not taken by Smith, as the white jumpers of Burnie are somehow shining bright in this afternoon sunshine, and they're just waiting for their moment of glory here. But Launceston, to their credit, are playing on well and acquitting themselves very, very well in the late stages of their title defence, which is over now. There's Plant on the ball, wrapped up by Meyer. Meyer's been excellent. Finch has been everywhere today. He's tried
everyone but the umpire, I think, believe that was a free kick for too high, and I think we're fairly unanimous up here, aren't we, as well?
You see Brian Fitz was actually smiling then after that. He's just like, well, got away with it.
There's the bounce of the ball right in front of us here on the in the broadcast position at York Park. Driving out of the centre for the Dockers. Nice mark taken there by Savage in defence. And certainly the intensity is right out of this game now. There's Hislop, the excellent young teenager. Has been so good on a big stage. I reckon Brady Rawlings wouldn't have missed that. As he sits there incognito in his cap and his sunglasses, all alone in the grandstand, the North Melbourne great watching proceedings. The Blues into attack, maybe for one of the last times. They work it towards their attacking 50. Meyer takes a hand pass, but the Dockers defence is more than up to the task at this stage of the game.
So we tick over 26 minutes, and the Dockers will be preparing themselves. You can see them down on the bench. Brent Plant still standing by the boundary line, barking instructions, but this will be a sweet victory for a club and a team that's had to work really hard over the last couple of years. They missed out last year, but they've struck back with a vengeance today. As Bristow's kick into the middle finds Harris, who off a step just puts it out into the path of Shepherd. They're pretty much jogging now, the footballers. Shepherd, he's working hard, not able to get past his opponent. It spills Burnie's way. Mychek with a kick out into the path of Eli Templeton. It pitches and bounces over his head. Woolley, who's been pretty solid, gets the hand pass back to a teammate. It's Savage. He goes by hand to Jordan Harris, back to Woolley. So the left footer spears a pass down the wing. It goes straight through the hands of his teammate in Shepherd. In fact, it was Kolodashny. So the Dockers now just strolling past their opponent there was Hardy, and then squares it up into the middle. Finds Smith, who has time to get back onto his right foot and then just put it into the path of Knott. And there it is. The Burnie Dockers have struck back with a vengeance. They were ushered off the big stage last year, and they've come here today and announced themselves as Tasmania's premier team. The final score, 16-14, 110 to Launceston, 9-8-62, and we'll hear the song.
Very well called by Damien McIver. We've got a state premier for 2012, and Burnie, after all these years of plugging away in the first statewide league, They reformed and regrouped during the Mick McGuan years, and now they have one of the finest moments in their very proud and very distinguished footballing history. The amalgam of the Hawks and the Cooey Club and the Tigers, it's all come together today. That's a first-rate win for the Burnie Dockers.
I was just going to mention that. We've got to respect the history of this club now. They battled really hard. I was around when that amalgamation took place, and that would have hurt a lot of people. It really would have hurt deeply because they were great rivals, those clubs, and they should have been. Now that's what happens when you're in that smaller community. They had the courage to take that on because they wanted their young players to play at the best level in the competition, and that was the best thing to do, to amalgamate around West Park. So we shouldn't underrate the historical significance of this fantastic effort by a club. And I just want to go back again. Back in 2010, after they lost so narrowly, got heartbroken after they got so close in 2009, it is a remarkable performance by everyone at the club, the players not the least of all, the coaches certainly, but everyone else who organises that club and in that community to rebuild themselves, because they look really shot. They lost 15, 16 first-class senior players and put together within 3 years a premiership side, their first ever. Fantastic. I love the moment at the end. I love the moment at the end when Shackleton ran past all his players straight over to Brent Plant. He just made a beam on it. As soon as the
side, he run from the ground.
Andy, I've got Brent here right now.
Go for it.
The emotion in your eyes, mate, really sums up. This has been a proud moment for you.
I guess when you coach, this is what you coach for, and when you.
Now final time for the stage medal being presented to the Premiership coach, Brett Plant. And now time for the Premiership Cup being presented